1 in 4 adults in the United States has fatty liver disease. In its early stages, it has no symptoms. What makes it especially concerning are the habits behind it are not extreme. In fact, they're a part of our everyday routine. A sedentary lifestyle, little thought put into dinner plans, and the occasional night of social drinking, all harmless activities. The liver is arguably one of the most important organs in your body. Johns Hopkins medicine states specialized liver cells called hepatocytes are responsible for processing nutrients and detoxifying the body. Hepatocytes store extra glucose as glycogen and release it when your body needs energy. They metabolize fats, regulate cholesterol, and break down proteins. Biology Insights explains that hepatocytes also detoxify alcohol, drugs, and environmental toxins, all while producing bile to aid in the digestion and absorption of fats. Such vital functions depend on keeping the liver performing at its best. Fatty liver disease is a growing but preventable health problem, and making small, smart choices can not only protect your liver, but increase your quality of life. Together, we'll look at the common habits that put you at risk and the serious implications behind fatty liver disease, as well as the simple changes you can make to protect your health. There are two main types of fatty liver disease: alcoholic and non-alcoholic. Alcoholic fatty liver disease develops from long-term alcohol use. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is the most common form there is, and it is linked back to poor diet, obesity, and metabolic conditions such as type 2 diabetes. The Mayo Clinic states that both forms of fatty liver disease originate as fat builds up in hepatocytes. As fat accumulates, it can progress into inflammation and then scarring known as fibrosis. Severe fibrosis becomes cirrhosis. Johns Hopkins School of Medicine explains that cirrhosis causes the liver to harden and shrink, restricting blood flow, making it difficult to filter toxins. Cirrhosis results in long-term complications such as jaundice, fluid buildup in the abdomen, and even confusion when toxins reach the brain. Fatty liver disease is the single greatest factor for hepatocellular carcinoma, the most common type of liver cancer. According to Healthline, this form of cancer is especially aggressive because it is detected too late, after symptoms begin to appear. In addition, fatty liver disease complicates other chronic health conditions. Studies published in PubMed show that metabolic issues like obesity, type 2 diabetes, and hypertension make fatty liver disease harder to treat and increase the risk of heart disease, the number one cause of death in the United States. The silent progression of this disease requires us to examine the everyday habits that cause it. Consuming too many processed foods, trans fats, and added sugars overwhelms the liver with fat it cannot process. Sugary drinks are especially harmful because they raise blood sugar levels and promote insulin resistance. Healthline explains that when the body becomes insulin resistant, it can no longer use glucose effectively, forcing it to store that sugar into fat. Alcohol is another major factor. When alcohol is broken down by hepatocytes, it produces toxic byproducts such as acetaldehyde. WebMD adds that these chemicals cause inflammation and weaken the liver's ability to detoxify the body. Over time, repeated exposure causes scarring, disrupts nutrient processing, and increases fat content inside the liver. This is why even moderate drinking, if consistent, can gradually damage the liver. A sedentary routine slows the metabolism and makes it harder for the body to burn fat. Cleveland Clinic promotes regular physical activity to help the liver process glucose and liver more efficiently, reducing fat accumulation and lowering insulin resistance. Healthline's Fatty Liver Diet Guide also emphasizes how exercise improves insulin sensitivity, which is critical for preventing buildup in the liver. Fatty liver disease is serious and potentially life threatening. However, it's preventable and even reversible in its early stages. Protecting your liver doesn't require extreme change, but small, smart choices. The Mayo Clinic recommends focusing on whole foods and cutting back on processed and fried meals. Healthline adds that replacing fast food with home cooked meals and reducing added sugars helps ease the burden on the liver. That can be as simple as swapping sugary drinks for water or using olive oil instead of butter when cooking. According to the Cleveland Clinic, even 30 minutes of moderate activity most days reduces fat in the liver and improves insulin sensitivity. This doesn't mean a gym membership, but taking the stairs instead of the elevator or going for a short walk after dinner. These are all easy ways to get moving. Additionally, consuming alcohol occasionally rather than habitually gives the liver a chance to recover. Our livers work tirelessly to keep us alive, but they are not indestructible. I encourage you to think about how the choices you make today will shape your health and quality of life in the years ahead.